by nature or naturally, I built that strong bonding with people. So I was doing that unknowingly. And then this opportunity, being a general partner, fell into my lap literally within few months or few weeks and just took off from there.
Welcome to The Real Deal, a commercial real estate investing podcast. I'm your host, Aman Shahi. There's a ton going on in the world right now, and much of it impacts real estate investors. The Real Deal podcast will take a look at what's happening and how it influences you as a real estate investor. Each episode is a 20-minute segment dedicated to distilling the day's most important news, so you can stay up to date on what's going on in the world and how it might affect the commercial real estate market.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cashflow Capitalist Show. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Vinki Loomba. Hey Vinki, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aman. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you. So tell us about yourself. Give your introduction in 30 seconds. Tell us who you are.
Who am I? That's a really good question. I'm still trying to figure out who am I. But that's on the spiritual side. But anyways, my name is Vinki Loomba. Like you said, I'm a real estate investor. I come from a strong IT and academia background. But I do have a real estate experience for last 20 years or plus. We started from the single family homes. When we bought our second home, we rented out our first one. And that's how we learned about the passive cash flow. And we started multiplying that. But over the course of time, fast forward, I landed into multifamily for last few years. I've been doing that. I'm part of multiple deals, have done multiple syndications as a GP as well as an LP.
So why real estate? Because you were in IT. That does pay a lot of money. Why real estate?
You can say it happened by default. Like I mentioned, 20 years back when we built our new home, we were in a position between me and my husband with two paychecks that we could afford two mortgages. So we rented our first home. We didn't sell it, and that's where we learned about the passive income. So nobody taught us, but it was kind of self learning. So we started multiplying that. We thought, oh, this is the best avenue to make money. But then I got my California realtor license at that time because I thought I could do my primary job, my W 2, as well as I can sell real estate on the side and I can make more money. That was the mindset at that time. So I went into the retail space in the triple net side and also selling the businesses on the retail side. That's what I did for about 5 years or so. But then it was a lot, keeping the two corporate jobs, two young kids, and then the real estate. Then I was also pursuing my executive MBA at the time. So I put my real estate career on the back burner. So fast forward, I was able to take early retirement from my primary job, and I just landed right back into real estate because I didn't want to go back to the corporate world because I thought I have done my share. I don't want it to work for somebody else's dreams. I wanted to work for my own dreams now. So different purpose, different vision, and I wanted to make this career more impactful because that can help multiple people, not just on the financial side, but also I run a nonprofit organization that gears towards women and children. So we do support a lot of initiatives right now in India, but vision is to take it global someday.
So if you mentioned something about IT professional and academia. Can you tell us about your life from that side? Like why academia to real estate?
Yeah, of course. So what happened was growing up, I have a MPhil degree from India and I wanted to become a professor. That was my dream growing up because I think I was very giving from the very get go. I wanted to make a difference. But when I was pursuing my MPhil, my parents decided, okay, this is the time to get married. And yes, I had arranged marriage. just like any other Indian in my age group. So I landed in US after my marriage, and I completed my MPhil from here, and I enrolled for PhD at UC Berkeley. I just wanted to become a professor. But destiny had something else in store for me, something even sweeter. I had my first child, and in that chaos, I couldn't pursue my PhD. And my husband suggested that I should try the corporate world and then see how I like it. And while my kids are growing up, so I found a job in the corporate world. I was hired as a management trainee, and I started climbing the corporate ladder, and I really liked it. 20 years went by, didn't even notice, and I just wanted to work few years and go back to my PhD, pursue my PhD. But during that time, in my 20-year career, I got a chance to pursue my executive MBA here instead of PhD. So when I completed my executive MBA, I got a chance to teach right away. As soon as I completed my MBA, I got an offer to take few classes every semester for the executive MBA program. So I jumped on the opportunity. I didn't want to wait or give it a second thought. So I started teaching two courses each semester in the executive MBA program, regular MBA, international MBA, whatever MBA was in the IT domain. I started enjoying that. So my dream of being a professor was being fulfilled there. So when I left my primary job, because this was I was doing it with my primary job and I was teaching at the same time. So when I left my primary job, W2 job, at that time I thought I'm just gonna stay being a professor only. Maybe I can start teaching more classes, take more on, and not do anything else. But then I shared this dream with everybody. One time I came from back from Egypt, and I woke up early morning, like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning. So this epiphany happened. Like if I die right now, all the experiences, all the knowledge that I've gathered over the years, everything is gonna go with me. I didn't make a difference. So I need to make a difference. So I revamped my nonprofit organization that I was telling you earlier, geared towards women and children. So now how do I fund that? I wanted to fund that. So only thing that came to my mind was start my own business. I didn't want to go back to the corporate world and live a limited life or pigeonhole life. I wanted to live full-fledged life at this point. So the only thing came to my mind was real estate. And because I had the experience for multiple years in that as well. So I got my real estate license reinstated. And now I'm thinking, what should I do? Should I go sell homes or sell businesses? But I didn't want to do either. I wanted to do something much bigger and better something. So then I decided to go into M&A, merger and acquisitions, because I thought having the corporate experience under my belt for multiple years, I went through multiple mergers and I understand the system side merger. So I thought how hard is going to be learning the business side merger. I can learn it. It's going to be super awesome. I'll be rock star there. So I started looking for some connection on LinkedIn who can help me break into that industry. So when I was looking for somebody, I came across somebody's profile which read $400 million AUM. I'm like, what the heck? I know this guy. How did he get here? So I called him and I landed in multifamily.
Who was that guy, by the way?
I don't remember his name. He used to be a manager with me at Bank of America. Yeah, I don't remember his name. That's the thing. I should remember. He was not my friend or anything. He was my Bank of America. I know him because we were in the same company.
Got it. Got it. So, did your W 2 job make any impact on you to start a business? Because I know how that impact me because I don't want to work for somebody else. How was your mindset at that time?
Yes, huge, because it's very important to realize that when you're working in the corporate world, when you're working for somebody else, you're working for somebody else's dream. You're living a very limited life because you are just working on one aspect of the bigger picture or the bigger spectrum. And versus starting your own company, doing everything yourself, having the whole enchilada is not easy either. A lot of people get intimidated by that, even thinking about that, how I'm going to do the whole thing. That's why they opt in for working for somebody or having a corporate job. And that's what my mindset was. So, but when I left that job at that time, it was really, really hurtful situation for me. Because if you look at my life trajectory, I did multiple things. I always kept my job, primary job. I went into real estate, I went into academia, and I wanted to do much more all the time. Why I was doing that? It was not clear at that time because I wanted to set free from my primary job, but I didn't want to give up my title, my executive position, my SVP title, whatever the title was. I was so attached to the title because that was my identification. I didn't want to lose that. But look at it, what happened? Few years back, when my company moved to, my department moved to New York, the whole company moved to more like on the East Coast. It's not even a West Coast bank anymore. They didn't even think even once. I was out of the picture. Only choice was given, either move or find something else. I didn't want to move. My whole family's here. And there was nothing to find something else in the bank that was comparable to my position. So then that's what the realization came, that all these 20 years, I gave it to somebody. That company didn't even care for a second, and I was out. So if I spent that much time to build my own company, it would have been better for my own dreams. So that's the reason I decided that I don't want to go back to the corporate world ever again.
Better late than sorry.
Yeah, better late than never. It's always, I think it's the timing. Because, but then I won't say that's a good or bad. I should have started earlier. Everybody says that. I could have done that. I should have done that. No, could have, should have, because it's a timing. All the experiences are shaping you or helping you or preparing you for the next step in your life. The action that you take today is preparing you for the next step in your life. So, all those things that I did in the past, whether it was my corporate two job, I learned so many skill set that I'm using for positioning myself in the market now, and also in my real estate, my academia. All those things were preparing me to be here today where I am today.
Yeah, that's what you said is right. Many people who come on the podcast, they mention that I should have scaled faster. I should have scaled this. I should have done that. Like you don't know because you had no knowledge at that time. You gained the knowledge by time. I could say after 10 years, I could do this 10 years ago, anything. But you did not have the knowledge. You didn't have the connection. You did not have that kind of money either. It takes time to build it. You can say should have, would have, could have. That can be, we can throw out of the window. And so for multifamily, how did you start from like as a limited partner or you started as a GP first?
No, I started as a limited partner. And again, I jumped because I wanted to jump. I didn't want to sit on the sidelines because when I learned about this multifamily syndications, not just multifamily, because syndication is the key word here. Because syndication means pooling the resources, pooling the money, and going in as collectively and achieving your goals. When I learned about that concept, which was really, really foreign to me at that time, I jumped on it. Because my thing was so many eyes are on the goal, so many eyes are looking at the deal. There could be like 30, 40 investors, plus the general partnership team. What could go wrong? I didn't want to wait. So somebody else, oh, I waited for 2 years, I studied the market, this and that. No, I just jumped. I knew I'm going to find my ground, and which I did.
How did you find the ground?
So I jumped, like I said, I invested in my first deal and then I started networking. This is my second nature, meeting with people, building strong relationships because I don't meet people at the surface level. I always try to build deeper connections. Like we know each other for a while too, Aman. Now, I respect others' feelings. I respect others' space. So by nature or naturally, I build that strong bonding with people. So I was doing that unknowingly. And then this opportunity, being a general partner, fell into my lap literally within few months or few weeks and just took off from there. So that's how I found my ground.
What was your role for the general partner position?
on the investor relations side and the asset management.
So for investor relation job is to mostly raise the capital. How much did you raise for your first capital, and who were your um, investors at that time?
I mean, that's more like a confidential information, how much or what investors, but I raised enough to be part of the general partnership team. And then investor relation is not just about raising capital. Capital is not the only thing. Investor relation is just building the strong connections, getting that know, like, and trust relationship going with you and the other people who are looking to invest. And after that, managing and nurturing those relationships, and then also communicating the deal specifics in the timely fashion over the course of the deal. So that's what it entails and much more, being a investor relations person. And I do provide, I would say, very proudly that I do provide a white glove service to my investors, because my investors are my extended family. I give them the liberty to pick up the phone, call me anytime, text me anytime, ask me any questions. I build those kind of relations. And that comes with time,
Mhm.
trust, like I was saying, know, like, and trust. Those are the important things.
So did you target any specific avatar, like you were in IT that you want to target IT guys, or you were like all of them who are in my contacts who make good money, whom I can help them? Who were your like specific?
Initially, like I said, I jumped. For me, it was not necessarily looking for a specific avatar at that time, because I'm Indian. I'm going to emphasize that. And we have lots of connections. And I'm pretty sure you do too, because our weekend parties are like, like three, 400 people that we are meeting over the weekend. So we have tons of connections under our belt day one. So leveraging those connections, and it's just like making those social people and bringing them onto the professional ground. That was the line that you have to cross to get there.
So at that time, because that was your first deal, how did you make your investor trust you? Because if you come, even if I know you as Vinky. If I say, "Oh, you are in real estate. You used to be IT professor, IT
Mhm.
professional, and selling the homes. Why do I trust you with $50,000 for investment?" So how did you recover that?
That's a really good question. And then, by the way, I never sold homes. I stole businesses. And because the commission was more 10%. So I wanted to use that for my benefit. But, anyways, this is a really good question, how people trust you. The trust does not happen day one. Like you say, oh, I'm a IT, now I'm a real estate. Oh, you invest in me. It does not happen like that. So it's just like, you have to become a leader in your own space. So and let people follow you.
Yeah.
Like it's like by design you're doing that things that you're creating that kind of atmosphere, or you're positioning yourself in a way, hey, I'm doing it. Just your role model, lead by example. So I led by example, but I had that trust relationship going on from day one. Remember I said I'm kind of in the social place for a long time, tons of friends, and have really, really good relationship with my friends over the years, because I always try to add value to others' lives. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been taught from the very early on by my parents, by my mom, that help others whatever way you can. So I was always doing that throughout my life. So I always had that trust built. And then people knew my skill set, being in the corporate world for multiple years and leading the huge organization, maybe a small part of it, a small department of it, and then being in the academia space, being a professor. So I have created that thought leadership platform for myself already. So, which helped me, like I was saying earlier to you, that every step or every action that you take in the present is preparing you for the next phase in your life. So, whatever I did in the past was preparing me for this position where I am today.
Mm. Was there any deal where you had a really hard time raising capital for like at least minimum that you had to raise?
I mean, it always happens, especially in today's market, and people are hesitant a little bit. They like to hold on to their money, but as long as you are 100%. truthful and you understand your deal completely inside out, you trust your deal, you trust your partners, you trust yourself that you're going to take it to the completion line, I don't see any hurdles.
And when you talk to your investor in this market, what kind of response are you getting?
Nothing there. Sometimes they're a little bit hesitant. Oh, what should I do? Then you give them the perspective, what it's going to look like, what your perspective is, right? Because a lot of the people, they rely on the news.
Yeah.
And the media is spitting out so negative news all the time. What happens is when you hear something negative, you bring that into your perception and hear your story. Oh, I have this much money, or market's gonna go this way. The rent's gonna not increase, and the inflation is all time high. The interest is gonna go maybe 12%, 15%. And here I have only this much money. And then I don't think I wanted to invest. I wanted to keep in the bank. Bank is giving me 2%. I'm happy with that. But you don't realize that, bring that into the perspective. If the inflation is going up, right? Even the rent is not increasing or whatever. So they are losing the value of their money by doing that, because they are not multiplying that. It's just sitting there. And I remember one of my good friends, he shares this story. What's his name is? He's going to kill me if he hears this podcast. I forgot his name. And his podcast, or his whole company, is based on those principles. He tells this story all the time, that there was four people and God gave them like dollar each or something and say, do whatever. I'm gonna come back 5 years or 10 years down the road. I'll ask you what you did. So when God came back and asked them, what did you do with your dollar? And then first person said, oh, I just spent it. Second person, he says, I just put in the stock market. So just get some little bit of it or whatever. And the third person, he said, oh, I invested it. So that $1 is like, maybe thousands of dollars, $1 million or something. And that was very intriguing to God. It's like, wow, this is really good, because you're multiplying my entrepreneurial mindset. And the last person, he asked, what happened to your dollar? He said, I bet it in the ground because I didn't want to lose it. So when you think about average people, when they're putting their money in the bank, that's a similar concept, because
Yeah.
they're betting their money in the ground. Oh, I don't want to lose it, but your money is losing value. If you think your money is sitting in your account and is gaining value, no. Wherever you're putting your money, in the credit union, insurance company, banks, every institution is making money from your money, and they're giving you crumbs, 2%, 4%. What they're doing, they're taking the money, they're investing. They're investing in real estate, stock market, whatever the different venues. They are just like avenues, or they are multiplying that money and giving you a little small crumb of that. And you're thinking, oh, your money is safe in the bank. So it's just like a conceptual understanding you have, that once you have that concept, the things open up for you, a lot more opportunities, a lot more doors, and a lot more connections happen at that level.
Everybody's making money but you.
That's true.
Yeah. And so if somebody wants to get into real estate, being a capital raiser, networking, what tools and tips do you want to recommend?
Okay, before I wanted to say on your podcast, I'm not sure if you can edit that. His name is Pacheco, right?
Pacheco.
You know him? The person I was talking earlier, his name is Abel Pacheco. So please excuse me that I went blank for a second and couldn't recall his name.
Mhm. Oh, don't worry. I'll send them the podcast.
Thank you.
And so, what tools and tips do you want to recommend to somebody who's starting as a capital raiser and wants to do better networking to get into real estate?
So networking is the key.
Yeah.
Because you need to make connections, because if you wanted to do a syndication business, or if you wanted to start or grow in your syndication model, you have to network. You need to go out, you need to meet people, you learn what they are doing, you need to create the trust relationships. Like I said, no, like trust, that's very important. And in order to do that, first of all, you need to know first who you are, what is your motivation, and what is going to take you to get there. These are the all important things for you to know first. And then you need to know about the other person, who they are, what is their motivation, and what is going to take for them to get to the level where you want them to see, where you want to see them, right? So networking is number one. Other than that, you need to have some kind of CRM tool so that you can keep track of the people who you are talking to on a daily basis and keep the notes so you can nurture those relationships. And now you should have a lead magnet, a website, first of all, so people know who you are. That's like positioning yourself in the market, a lead magnet. And also social media presence in today's evolving world is a must, because that's how you connect with others beside your immediate friends and family. And then social media presence is very important. And positioning yourself is very important too. Positioning is the number one thing. So if you're not even sure about yourself, how can you make sure other people are going to trust you?
Yeah. And what kind of CRM tool do you use?
I use Active Campaign, and I also use Syndication Pro for the investor portal and InvestNext.
And why Active Campaign? There are other tools too, which are much cheaper, like Mailchimp and HubSpot and all this thing. Why Active Campaign?
I love Active Campaign because of the functionality.
Mhm.
And then MailChimp is not cheaper initially to get in the door is cheaper, maybe free or whatever, just a gimmick. But eventually when you get the full blown package, which you're gonna be need at some point, you're gonna be paying much more money than Active Campaign. Actually, Active Campaign I think is cheaper option even than the Hootsuite and all that. I looked at few of them and I really like Active Campaign. Is pretty easy and very user friendly, I would say, you can navigate yourself with minimal knowledge. But for the people who are from IT background, it's like super sweet anyways to begin with.
Got it. Got it. And if we talk about, first, of all, you also have a podcast, right? Can you share us about, tell us about your podcast too?
My podcast is a very popular podcast, the Real Estate Vibe Show,
Mhm.
and running it more than a year now. We are at 114th episode.
Nice.
Next week is gonna be released. So
Mhm.
a bunch of episodes. We started as a spiritual, I would say, or mindset podcast,
Mhm.
because I had a co-host with me too.
Mhm.
But then after a few episodes, we realized that most of our audience was real estate related.
Yeah.
So, and then my partner, my co-host, he wanted to do more like spiritual work.
Mhm.
So we kind of split. He started his own thing on the spiritual side. So my podcast 100% geared towards real estate, but that includes all the success stories, mindset, anything to do with real estate or anything to do personal growth. We
Mhm.
bring people from all different fields, different houses, because by the end of the day, but the basics are still the same because you need to have kind of some basic skills
Yeah.
to start from ground zero or take off from ground zero.
Got it. Got it. And so I'm gonna ask you like three more questions. That's more like mindset related. So, what is your morning routine as an entrepreneur?
My morning routine is very important to me. When I get up in the morning, and I do not just abruptly get up from the bed, I stay in the bed at least for 20 minutes, just getting myself back into this body, get acquainted with my body, like each and everything is in place, is working, and kind of gratitude towards that I woke up today.
Mhm.
I have another whole day,
Yeah.
another 24 hours to create something amazing. So after that, after regular routine, I spend 2 hours with myself with my yoga and meditation and all the calmness practices I do. But that's the time for me.
Yeah.
I don't do anything. And once that that's you can say miracle morning,
Mhm.
that opens up a lot more for me and is already kind of clarity about the things that I need to accomplish in my day throughout the day. And after that, even if I work 10 hours, I don't care.
Got it.
It doesn't matter to me. I
Mhm.
don't need water, I don't need food, I do not need anything because I'm already energized for the rest of my day.
Got it. Got it. And if you have to go back and restart all over again, what would you do different, if any?
I won't change anything, tell you the truth, Aman.
Mhm.
I ask the same question on my podcast too, and people have different viewpoints, and I respect everybody's point of view, uh, everybody's thought process, wherever they're coming from, because it's everybody's own experience. For me, I won't change anything because if I change something, I won't be here where I am today. So all the past experiences, all the past actions brought me here today. So if I wanted to be here where I am, I won't change anything.
Got it. Got it. And if today is the last day on this planet, what message do you want to give to the world?
Live. Don't forget to live. In our daily chaos, 99.9% of the
Mhm.
people forget to live.
Yep.
They don't even know what life is all about. They just chasing money, chasing material things. They think when they have everything, they'll be happy.
Yep.
But that's not necessarily the true meaning of life.
Yep.
So my message is just live in the moment. It's cliche. Everybody
Yep.
says that, but just live.
I want to add something to it. People say that, oh, life is short and all this. Life is not short. We just waste a lot of it. And every day we are not living, we are dying because we are walking towards death. So live in the present moment, at least enjoy, because every day you're losing it, you're not gaining it. So you have to live more so you can have your own potential, you create impact. And and Vinky, if people wants to reach out to you, where can they reach out to you?
The best way to reach out to me is you can go to my website, www.loombainvest.com. Once again, loombainvest.com. I do have a free ebook for everybody where I talk about syndication secrets revealed. You're welcome to download that.
Mhm.
Other than that, you can reach out to me on social media. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Nice. And thank you so much, Vingy, for your time and for your wisdom and knowledge. And I'll see you another one. I'll see you in your. You also have the webinar too, right? Every week. Can you share about that too?
Yes, I do have a bi-weekly webinar on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time,
Mhm.
and anybody and everybody is welcome to join. Every 2 weeks, I bring a good speaker. It's a knowledge pack session. I bring the super smart people, powerhouse of knowledge, and
Perfect.
they share their experiences. And it's really, really good. You can say it's a small mindset or not mindset, I was saying. It's a small mentorship kind of program, you can say it is we have 1 hour of that, then we have half an hour of networking.
Perfect. And thank you so much, Vinky. And I'll see you another one.
Thank you so much, Aman. I really appreciate you having me on your show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on The Real Deal, a commercial real estate investing podcast. The show that covers everything to do with multifamily real estate investing to help you become an expert in your real estate ventures. We're here to help you create passive income and financial freedom so that you can achieve what you want whenever you want. We'll catch you next time on The Real Deal.